It's a long way from sheep paddocks in the Midlands to catwalks in Shanghai, but that gap's being bridged by a campaign that's aiming to show Chinese luxury consumers just where their clothes come from. It's part of a push by Australian wool innovation to cash in on what's soon to be the world's biggest market for high-end products. Martin Cudahy reports from the sheep paddocks around Ross.
Before today, these Chinese fashion designers had never actually seen sheep. Well, not in the flesh and wool anyway.
Yes, in good health. Okay, keep her.
They're being filmed by a crew from the China Business Network, a TV station aimed at high-end consumers. Designers Mark Hai and Ban Shou Shuer are getting up close and personal with merino ewes on the property Trefusis, southeast of Ross.
Give her a kiss.
When we're in China, they have no idea as to where the wool comes from. So to actually bring them to the farm, to see the animals, to meet the people who actually grow the fibre, the farmers, and put them at the forefront of this story is really compelling and really interesting to the Chinese market.
They're lovely young fellas and great to see what they're doing with wool, and I was so thrilled for them to be here to see how we grow our wool and so that they can go home and tell their story. And I think it's very important that they do that, yeah.
You began to care about the way you dressed. Somehow, you always chose wool.
Woolmark was started in 1964 in an effort to lure customers away from popular synthetic fibres. Relaunched 3 years ago after being taken over by Australian wool innovation, the focus shifted towards the world's fastest growing luxury market, China. 1/3 of the world's high-end goods are bought in China, and it won't be long before it overtakes the US. The marketing drive will consist of a 6-part TV documentary and advertisements across print, radio, billboards and online, all aimed at female buyers.
From our studies, it's shown that they're a lot more educated these days about what they're buying, and they will spend money on products that have a backstory, and that's what we're trying to tell here today.
Australian Wool Innovation has brought 6 designers to Australia to show them the properties, the environment and the source of the wool they work with. It's hoped the countryside will inspire them to create the latest fashions. These young men designed high-end clothes for women under the label Exception.
I chose everything here, so including the natural landscape and also the sheep. Everything is so natural and pure. So when I do my design, these are all my inspiration. I have never been to a place like this before. There's such a big farm and a big scale. But what impressed me most is the relationship between Georgie and her sheep. Their relationship is just a lot of care and love and harmony. It's important to our design because we respect life, no matter it's human beings or animals.
The wool industry has gone through its ups and downs. A price collapse in 1991 saw production scale back dramatically. It's gradually clawed its way back and prices are now comparable to those in the 80s.
I do all the most of the sheep classing work here, and I love the sheep and I love the superfine wool.
Georgie Wallace and her husband Hamish own the property Trefusis. They run 16,000 sheep on more than 7,000 hectares. The property has produced 2 world record prices for ultra-fine merino wool.
Most growers would feel the same, that if it's well-directed campaign and it has outcomes, which means that we're selling more wool and for a bit more money, I don't think you'd get any arguments.
The push into China started last year with a campaign directed at men and pure wool suits. This year the target is women because growth in female luxury spending increased by 22% in the 3 years to 2010. Male spending increased as well, but by about half as much. Australian Wool Innovation is hoping this campaign will be as lucrative as last year.
Last year was a huge success. We managed to reach 160 million consumers in China, which was an outstanding figure. And when we worked with the partners, they were reporting back that there was a 15% increase in their sales into China following the campaign.
And if the designers have their way, they'll be working more and more with wool and inspiring their consumers to buy locally designed clothes.
I
like to work with wool because on the first hand it's like made from something or produced from something who has life. So there's a long process from the sheep and then get the fleece and then made into yarn and fabric, a long process there. It's all very pure and the color is beautiful. Even when I see here the wool color is a bit dirty, but still it's like a earthy, natural color. So the color and also the texture of wool is very rich and beautiful.
From the sheep's back in Ross to the catwalk in Shanghai. Not a bad yarn, really.